Hello, I am 3D Caleb, and you are entered into the 3D Caleb YouTube zone. I hope you're having a good Valentine's Day, wherever you may be. I hope you got chocolate. This is for my mom. I hope your mom sent you chocolate too. It's nice to get chocolate on today. I made progress on the 3D sphere scene that I've been working on following this book, the computer graphics from scratch. You've seen me mention a few times with some cat marks. Yeah, I finished the book. I decided to not implement all the lighting for the sphere. It was just really slow when you're trying to implement Phong shading on a 486 computer. It renders it pretty slow, so I was satisfied with just getting flat shading built. It looks cool. I like seeing the faces. Yeah, it's a mic. I think they're fun, cute. And we'll take a look at this soon, and we'll compare the ray tracer version to the rasterized version, and you'll see a little difference, or maybe a big difference. You might see a big difference. I'm gonna get the programs loaded. Do it. Well, let's go into the file system. You know what, actually I could just go to DOS. There we go. Go to the D drive, and I have them already prepared, compiled, and ready to view. So if you forgot what the ray tracer version looked like, let's run that. Ooh, look at that. Still looks awesome. Love the shadows, the specular. Pretty cool. So that's the ray tracer one. Keep that fresh in your mind as we go to the rasterized version. Ta-da! Wow, look at that. Looks pretty close. It's a little different, but charming, I would say. Charming. You can see all the faces on the spheres. There's no smoothness. You could make it smooth, but I chose to stay with flat shading because I actually like the look of it. I think it looks pretty cool. Let me get in a little bit closer so you can see this. There you go. Got a better view of the beautiful flat shaded 3-sphere scene. I made this a plane composed of a few different triangles instead of a big humongoid sphere like the ray tracer did, because I want to make it a little bit more efficient for the rasterized version. Since you're looking at a flat shaded 3D scene, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about what flat shading even is. Flat shading, probably the most basic and fastest way you can add lighting to 3D objects, but as you can see, it also produces the least realistic results. But it's not as realistic, but I think it still looks cool, but you may not. So this is just one technique to light things. There are better ways, but this is fast, and I'm gonna go with fast. So the process of flat shading is, for each triangle in the 3D model, you pick just one point, usually the center, and calculate how bright that point should be based on the lighting. And in this scene, there's 3 light sources. There's a directional light, an ambient light, and a point light. You then use that same brightness value for the entire triangle. Every pixel in that triangle gets colored with the same shade. And the main problem with this approach becomes pretty obvious when you're trying to render curve objects like is attempting to be done there. Since each triangle is shaded with a single flat color, you end up with a very faceted angular look. And you can clearly see all the individual triangles that make up the object. This works okay for objects that are actually supposed to be flat, like a cube, but makes curved surfaces look as a little bit unrealistic and very geometric. But that could be nice if that's the look you're going for. This was I think one of the earliest shading techniques used in 3D graphics, and that's how flat shading works. Oh, I forgot to mention another form of shading called Garo shading, and that's another way to kind of shade the surfaces more evenly. Oh, the red channel is crapping out again. So I just want to mention Garo shading, which Garo shading, Phong shading, flat shading are all covered, of course, in this book. And you can see online examples of Goro shading, which talks about how can we remove the discontinuities in lighting. Vertices. And you'd understand that more if you already went through the book. So Goro shading, flat shading, Phong shading, which Phong shading gets you a lot closer to the other scene where you can actually, you know, show specular points, makes it look really smooth. But we're gonna stay with good old flat shading on the braking monitor so it looks neat. Well, that's it for my update. I hope you have a nice Valentine's Day wherever you may be. Maybe you're up high or down low. Enjoy it. And I will enjoy mine with a piece of candy.